Hey guys, Fluffle92, and today is Fantasy Friday, so we'll be covering all my fantasy movies. So, on the top, we have the entire Harry Potter movies, all 8 of them. On the bottom left, we have Lord of the Rings, the theatrical version. Then next to them are all 3 Hobbit movies, the theatrical versions, and then the first 4 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So let's get started. Now, Sorcerer's Stone is easily one of my favorite Harry Potter films. It's just a fact. Absolutely love it. It's really well made, really well structured. Chamber of Secrets, also another one of my personal favorite Harry Potter movies. It's just that well made. Prisoner of Azkaban, I used to staunchly not like it when I first got it, but now I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. It's okay. It's more middle ground for me. It's probably the best of the worst for me. I just don't really care for it. Goblet of Fire, I used to like it, and then when I bought the book, I'm just like, wow, this movie sucks. It's a case of director not knowing what he was doing and not respecting the source material. And irony is, we now hit Order of the Phoenix, the 5th movie. If you thought that I was being harsh on Goblet of Fire, you're wrong. Order of the Phoenix is absolute just garbage. There's flat zero reason that an almost 900-page book should be... It's just completely insulting to J.K. Rowling that, this movie is barely 2.5 hours with credits. That's bad. It's just flat unacceptable to me. I do not like it. Just so many shortcuts for me, and I absolutely disliked it. Half-Blood Prince is the middle of the ground for me. I thought it was way worse than Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire ever was, and it will not be as bad as Order of the Phoenix was. I used to be like, oh yeah, this one, it's really good, whatever. Anybody who criticizes it's in the wrong, and now I'm just like, I got the books and I'm like, you know what? This is so insulting to J.K. Rowling. Again. Yeah, so definitely way worse than Order of the Phoenix, but not as bad as Goblet of Fire. Deathly Hallows Part 1 is... it's a good film, but I definitely rank it bottom of the best. It's the worst. There should have been no reason... I consider Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 and Order of the Phoenix to be criminal acts against Harry Potter. Sue me. I just think they're criminal acts. There should have been no reason that there was 2 parts ever. And again, Deathly Hallows Part 2, it's easily my 3rd best Harry Potter movie after the first 2, but otherwise it's pretty good. Now, Pirates of the Caribbean, I consider On Stranger Tides to be the worst. I thought it was good enough. It's a lot better than the 5th movie, but I just couldn't care less for it. At World's End is good, but I just found it a bit long, like pushing 3 hours. It's kind of long for me. And again, Lord of the Rings, they're long, but still. Now, Dead Man's Chest is good. It's a lot better than the last 2, but it's not as good as the first film. And now, on The Curse of the Black Pearl is my favorite Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It's pretty solid and pretty fun. Now, regarding The Hobbit, I absolutely am not fond of the Battle of the Five Armies. It was based around... It has absolutely no setup to it. Ironically, I was watching some other YouTubers the other day about it, and, and the review is pretty spot on about it. It's like, the Battle of the Five Armies has absolutely nothing going for it except for maybe, a couple of chapters at the end of the book. Desolation of Smaug is a lot better than the Battle of the Five Armies, but I just think that those 2 films are examples of why I just hate film adaptations of books so much. There's just so much, completely lacks the... is completely disrespectful to J.R.R. Tolkien, and if he probably would be rolling in his grave if he ever watched this. I argue that The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey is my personal favorite of the series. I know, sue me again, but I think it's what it is. And I really don't, it's very hard for me to rank the Lord of the Rings movies, but I feel The Two Towers for me, I mean, it's good, but I just felt it's kind of like, it's long. It's alright. Again, The Fellowship of the Ring is equally as good. I think it's a very well-made movie. Return of the King may be my favorite one, but I really don't think about it. I just kind of spewing out my thoughts here. But yeah, today has been Fantasy Friday, covering all these different franchises.